going to sing a song for you that I wrote for my daughter after we had this huge fight one day. But before I sing this song, I want to give you a little disclaimer, because early in the song, one of the lines in it said that she slammed her bedroom door. And that's not really true, because when we bought our house, there was no door on her bedroom, and we couldn't afford to buy her a real door. So we bought her what I call an accordion door. Now, if you don't know what an accordion door is, allow me to explain it to you. An accordion door is an aluminum runner at the top, and it has little wheels that kind of squeak along the aluminum runner, and the thing folds up like this, like an accordion, and over here in the middle, on the side, it has a combination door handle magnet thing. And then I suppose, if your dad is more mechanically inclined than my daughter's dad is, it could probably have an aluminum runner on the bottom, too. But hers just kind of flaps down there. I told her I designed it that way so the cat could come in and out. I was lying about that. I just couldn't figure out how to do it. All through her childhood, that's the kind of door that she's had on her bedroom. When she was a teenager, in her mind it was this close to child abuse, the fact that her parents removed from her her God-given, constitutionally guaranteed right and privilege to be able to slam her bedroom door when she was done screaming at her parents. Now, I can see that some of you are not 100% with me on this, so allow me to elaborate. When my daughter was 17 and a half, her and her mother would fight like two animals. I would know that it was them, and I would know they would be speaking English, but to me it sounded like someone had turned the nature channel up loud on my TV. I'd be in another room, and I would hear a sound like this. And then it would abruptly end. And then they would each go to separate ends of the house, leaving me and the dog cowering on the couch in what I like to refer to as the angry estro silence. And then, inevitably, they would each come to me separately to complain about the other one. My daughter would come down to me, and she would start complaining to me. This is what her lips like when they're moving. She would complain and complain, and I would concentrate and try to pay attention, but I have an attention deficit problem. Especially when I don't like what people are saying to me. I try to focus, and she would complain and complain. And the underlying message being that if only when I was courting this woman many long years ago, if I could have had a little bit of foresight and been able to predict that in the future, 18 years later, there's a woman that I married who would be spending every one of her waking moments denying liberty to her children, then certainly I would have chosen more carefully. Now, my daughter is normally a very bright and observant young person, but the fact that she believed that I was capable of getting justice for her from her mother, it betrayed a fundamental problem with the way that she comprehended what went on inside the four walls of our home. Because the truth is, if I could get justice from that woman, I would get some for myself. let her know that. So I took my cue from the dog, who can never understand what I'm saying to him, but still looks at me as if he could understand with a sort of an empathetic look. And eventually, she would figure out that I was completely incompetent in this situation, and she would storm off. And then my wife would come, and her voice would sound like when the parents talk or the Charlie Brown cartoons. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. Your daughter. Wah, 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 wah. Well, I'm going to say a lot of things tonight, but the only true thing I'm going to say is this next thing right here. And I want all my dads out here to pay attention, because you're going to know how funny this is. But it's going to be so funny, and you're going to want to laugh so hard. But I'm going to recommend to you that you do not. There could be a long ride home for you. Here's the one truth of this evening. If I have my wife on one side and my daughter on the other side, and they're both talking to me, honest to God, if I close my eyes, I can't tell which one is talking! It has occurred to me that the problem these people have with each other has something to do with the fact that they're identical. That's just a theory. But anyway, this is what it would sound like. My daughter and my wife would be nose to nose like this, and my daughter would be, she's 17 years old and she is not going to take it, and she would sound just like this. I'm 17 years old, and you can't tell me what to do. I'll come home at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock and do whatever I want, and pretty soon I'll be 18, I'll be able to do whatever I want. And then she would go upstairs, wah, pa, 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 and stand next to her little accordion door. And she would scream at us from up there, and her voice would come bellowing down the hallway into the living room and wash over her mother and I like an angry teenage tsunami. And this is what it would sound like. Here's her voice coming down into the living room, and it would sound just like this. And when I turn 18, I am moving out of this house! Weeky, 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 weeky. We're gonna have a lot of fun tonight.